last year, a year ago, I don't know if it was exactly right now, but a year ago, last February, we were starting to talk about COVID for the first time. It was my first live presentation of COVID. And tonight I found the magazine I brought because I had a picture of COVID and I'm like, this is what it looks like, everybody. And wow, I mean, what a journey. It's been a year. And so last year I found my notes and it was like, what did we know as far as a healthy home that we could work with that to support us? And a lot of the basic fundamental things of a healthy home were pretty solid. I mean, we didn't have the masks and we didn't have the social distancing, but we absolutely had the ventilation. We had the washing your hands. We did a big old thing on washing your hands. I mean, wow. And we're still standing.
I'm gonna try to find that video, Denise, and put it up on our Facebook and share it if I can.
I'm sure
It was so
now in retrospect of like what we didn't know because we had no idea what was coming.
Yeah, we sat in a big room with probably 40 people, and I think we had snacks, and we were trying to do this Facebook Live thing at the same time for the first time, and now we're like excellent at it. But I'm gonna try to find it.
It just shut down. Everything shut down like really close after that last class. That was it.
I did want to just say one more thing, just so everyone knows. I'm just going to kind of keep an eye on things and mute people if they pop up, but we are going to record this. We are streaming on Facebook Live, so if you unmute or don't want to have your face on camera, you can definitely mute your camera. I say mute my camera, that's what the first grader says. Turn off your camera, whatever's easier for you, but just wanted to have that as a disclaimer before we got too far in. Go ahead, Denise, thank you.
And then on my end, if you can have your camera on, please do, because I love seeing faces. Otherwise, it's just me in my kitchen talking to myself, which if you know me, you know I do that all the time. So it's not like a big shock, but it's a whole lot more fun to have a conversation. So if you get a chance, if you know how you can put like a little emotion on here. So of everybody's that's on here, how many of you love to clean? That is like your favorite thing. Give me a thumbs up. If you love to clean, if you're not so excited about it, give me a thumbs down. Let's see where our group is of up or down. Yay, or oh Lord, shoot me now.
I don't think we have a thumbs down.
There's no thumbs down, so yeah.
Okay, do the O face. That yeah, that's a perfect. Yeah. Yeah. You can even tell by how many people's on here. Cleaning is a thing, and this year we have learned more than anything how important cleaning is. And I've been teaching these green cleaning classes for I don't know, forever. I've been in the cleaning industry for 30 years. Before I was a clutter clearing coach and a life coach, I was a cleaner. So this goes back 30 years of practice when I talk about cleaning. Holy cow, this year we've learned that cleaning is more than just green cleaning. So when I think of green cleaning, I actually think of green cleaning on a whole nother level of cleaning for health. That it is cleaning for your financial health, because when you take care of all your surfaces, you will save yourself so much money as far as not having to replace things and minimizing the chemicals you use. Just financial gains of knowing how to clean for health is huge. As far as creating a healthy home, so you are vibrant, you are healthy. We learned that over and over and over in COVID of how important cleaning was for our health. But something that kept showing up during COVID that was new, but I was like cheering it on all the way, was we kept seeing over and over and over these posts about how cleaning was also part of our mental health. Did y'all see that? You were starting to see things like, and I have a couple little things I caught. When you are feeling depressed, do some cleaning. Straightening out your physical aspects of your life can also bring clarity to mental ones. That was from Plan Healthy. Another quote I just saw was, boost your mood, clean your home. Cleanliness is associated with better physical and mental health, while mess and clutter is linked to increased stress levels. And big coaches, they were talking about how to build momentum in your life. I was seeing like Tony Robbins, and one of it was make your bed in the morning and pick up the house before you go to bed at night. And I mean, these were mental health. These were motivating things. It wasn't just cleaning so you had a sparkly house. The cleaning is so fundamental to our house, because how our environment feels is how we feel. And this is not about making ourselves have perfect houses. It's not. It's how do you feel in the house? If you walk into the house and you're like, oh, it's just too much, that's going to draw your energy down. But if you walk into your house and you're like, I can rest, I feel like things have some kind of sense to them, then that's going to feel nourishing. And if every morning you wake up and it feels nourishing, it builds up your energy. Tonight, I had a taste of my own medicine. I was cleaning the house before, because a lot of times I'll clean the house before I do a presentation because it just calms my energy. Well, I was cleaning and I was listening to music and I was dancing, and I looked in the mirror and I could see that I was completely flushed, and I'm like, ah. And so then I turned off the music, and instead of using cleaning to energize me, I used cleaning to calm my nervous system down. So I ended up cleaning, and as I was cleaning, I was specifically moving my body smoothly like a waltz. And I was breathing and I was relaxed and I was moving and I was cleaning my house and I was humming specifically to calm myself down. I was relaxing my face, relaxing my eyes, and I used it as a meditation to calm my nervous system down. And I do that. I've learned to do it either to energize myself up, give myself up when I'm down, when I need motivation. I clean, I turn on music, I open up the windows, I shift the house, and I gain energy. But sometimes I use it for the exact opposite of calming down my nervous system. If I've been on Zooms all day, if I've been thinking all day, I use cleaning to actually calm my nervous system down, and then I do it smoother. I do it relaxed. A lot of us think that cleaning is actually torture, but all it is how we perceive it. When we start seeing cleaning as just an activity and how we do it, it'll change our life forever. Because this is a traveling mate. It is not like a destination. Y'all know, like, once you clean your house, then tomorrow you got to start over. It's not like it's once and a done. So cleaning is a journey. It's actually a practice, a journey that will travel with us. And the more we make it simple, the more we make it healthy, the more we make it nourishing, the more that this traveling partner will actually be part of a support in our life, and we can use it for whatever we need. It is worth spending time on to really learn these practices and drop the dread and the exhaustion that a lot of us feel about cleaning, and learning to simplify. And it's just a skill. It's a habit. It's not a genetic gift. It's just, some people have a tendency for more tidiness. Other people have a tendency for more gathering and collecting. It's about finding your sweet spot and then traveling in that sweet spot. So, okay, so without further ado, I'm going to give you some tips on how to make it simple and healthy and safe. This last weekend, I was doing a consult for a builder. I have builders that consult with me, and then when they get done with a new remodel, they call me, and then I visit with their homeowner on how to take care of everything. So I just got done doing one on this weekend, and the home that we were working on had very high-end surfaces, very unique surfaces. They were very expensive. And so I was doing research going into the different manufacturers and finding out how to maintain some of these different surfaces just to make sure I had it on. But I loved it because the information I'm going to give you on a healthy home is the exact same information I give builders and homeowners on how to maintain all their surfaces. Because the same with our health, most of the products we use to maintain our house are too aggressive for daily maintenance. In our health, what that means is we can aggravate our respiratory system, we can cause chemical burns, we can have overexposure to toxins by being around all these chemicals. Environmentally, we are dumping hazardous wastes, in our houses, and we're collecting all these extra chemicals we don't need. Financially, as far as a new home build goes, well, if you don't take care of your surfaces, they're going to be damaged and they're going to wear out, and they're going to be ruined by using these aggressive products. So this is what I love about cleaning. It's so simple. You don't know it's simple by going to the grocery store and seeing 50 different, I think I measured at Fred Meyer before they remodeled, that there was 46 linear feet of cleaning supplies, and that was 6 levels high. And so trying to guess what to use, you're like, I don't know what to use. There's so many. And the awesome thing is, I'll show you exactly how simple cleaning can be. You can use cleaning with just a Nibbin, hardly anything. You don't need a specialty cleaner for your stainless steel. You don't need one for your stone and tile. You don't need one for your hard. I mean, you can really keep it so simple and save yourself so much money, and also keep it where you don't have to overcomplicate. You don't have clutter of chemicals, because it's just a couple things. So this was a cabinet company, and this is what they said to maintain. A soft cotton cloth dampened with warm water is usually sufficient to clean your cabinets. If more cleaning is required, use one of the following cleaning solutions: dishwashing liquid and warm water, or a mild all-purpose cleaner. Make sure it doesn't have ammonia. Use the mildest cleaning solution that will successfully clean your cabinets. Stronger products may damage or discolor your cabinet finishes and are not recommended. And then it says, after cleaning, wipe all surfaces with a clean, damp cloth and then dry immediately. That is the basics of everything I'm going to tell you. Is that simple. It is using really good cloths and dishwashing liquid, rinsing and drying. That is basically the basics of cleaning. You think about when we've been learning about washing our hands. You have your hands, they're dirty. You get hot water on them, you rub them back and forth, you sing happy birthday, you rinse, and then you dry. That is cleaning. Cleaning is not a chemical. Cleaning is actually the process of removal. And the CDC, when we had all the COVID coming on, I did a lot of research about, the safety of cleaning to make sure we were still following what we needed to do for the virus. And it turns out, and I've always known this, the definition of cleaning is not application. The definition of cleaning is removal from the surface what doesn't belong from it. So it's about removing. It's not about killing anything. It's about removing. The art of cleaning is, how do we remove things from the surface without damaging ourselves or the surface, gathering it up and having it completely gone. That's where the art is. It's that gentle manipulation. And so I'm going to show you how to do this so simple. So Jeanette, how does that go, Jeanette? If you're in the City of Federal Way, you get a green cleaning kit.
Yes, so I'll pull it up really quick.
And this kit is awesome. Amazing.
So the local hazardous waste management program in King County has given us grant funding through the City of Federal Way to offer these green cleaning starter kits. And so these will be available, and Denise will go through some of the materials in there.
Mm-hmm.
And you can pick up your kit at the South King Tool Library during their normal open hours. You can always contact Amanda to schedule that if you need. And I will let Denise talk a little bit more about the different products, why we chose them, and how to use them.
So in the green cleaning kit, is it just residents of Federal Way? I know you have to be present on tonight to get the green cleaning kit.
Or anybody who listens to the presentation. So
Okay.
yes, these are intended for Federal Way residents.
Y'all are here, so y'all can get this kit, and I loved it. So Jeanette and I and Amanda, we all brainstormed about what we should put in the kit, and I really wanted to show you this 2-towel system. So can you pop me back? Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, so I wanted to show you this 2-towel system. So the benefits of microfibers, and this is why I love microfibers, is because when microfibers are used correctly, they will remove 99% of germs and bacteria. 99%. That's what we're going for, is that removal, but they need to be used in a specific way for them to work. It's not just about grabbing something and wiping it down. So I'm not going to get this one wet and dirty just because I think this is going to be somebody's kit. But the nice thing is you got really high quality microfibers. We specifically look to get a high quality microfiber. So the microfibers that are in your kit are not just cheap ones that came from the dollar store. We got to the E-cloth because I wanted you to have a very high quality. And with microfibers, you want to have your microfibers well taken care of, and you want a high quality. There's one concern that I hear a lot about microfibers is I don't like to use it because it's tacky and it doesn't feel good on my skin. Does anybody have that kind of why you don't like to use microfibers? Right, okay. So I'm not going to get those ones, the actual ones. I'm going to get some of the microfibers I use wet so I can show you. So there's two microfibers that I asked to have it. One was just a general purpose microfiber, and the other one's what's called like a polishing cloth. It's smoother, it's silkier than your normal microfiber. The normal microfiber is going to be the one that's going to catch your fingers a little bit, but you may have to play with different ones until you get textures that you feel comfortable. But here's a little bit of a trick. If you get the microfiber wet, it's not near as tacky on your fingers. And also if you put lotion on your hands aren't as tacky. A really easy green way to do like a scrub is just put like 50% sugar, 50% salt, and then put olive oil on it, and you give yourself a little scrub, and you can do a great job of getting your hands soft. You already have those products in your house, but it does a great job of getting your hands soft. So first things you do is you get your microfiber wet. And so I'm just going to run it under water. The thing about microfibers that work the best is you don't want it to be super, super wet. You want it to be kind of a tacky damp because it's going to work better as a tacky damp. So now I have this, where am I? I see pictures, but I don't know where I am. So now I have a damp microfiber, and then I have the polishing cloth. So when I think of this, I think of wax on, wax off. I think of wipe on, wipe off. So whenever I clean anything, I always dry, because cleaning is the process of removal. So I always want to dry everything behind it. I don't want to leave anything damp. So when I'm cleaning, here is some of the basics of cleaning. First of all, if you can, go ahead and fold your microfiber into fourths, because in fourths it gives you 8 cleaning sides. So as I'm cleaning, I can keep flipping it and I don't have to stop cleaning, because this is all about how to save ourselves time, how to do efficient work in our cleaning. If for some reason your surface is too rough, go ahead and hold it flat. But make sure, and this is the most important thing, make sure your microfiber is flat. It's really easy for us, and it's a natural thing, is just to kind of grab it and crinkle it, but you're not getting a surface tension. You're not actually breaking the surface tension with a wrinkled microfiber. So what you always do is you want to always have your hand open and it flat. And when you clean, you want to go back and forth, up and down in a pattern, like a grid, like, squares, grid. Is that a grid paper? That doesn't sound right. Anyway, up and down, side to side, but not circular, because you don't actually get as much good connection if you're going circular as you do side to side. So then all you do is go up and down. If you feel like you need to do another step of a rinse, you just flip it and rinse it. And so you have one cleaning step, one rinsing step, and then you take your polishing microfiber, which is the slick one. It doesn't tend to be as tacky on your hands, and you buff it dry. And that is how simple cleaning is. And when you do that, you have left your surface so residue free. Once you get used to this, you're going to love it, because there's like nothing left behind. When you're done cleaning, there shouldn't be anything left behind. You shouldn't have water. You shouldn't have cleaners. You shouldn't have germs, bacteria, schmutz. You should just have your countertop. So if I, accidentally licked it, like I'm walking along and all of a sudden I just accidentally licked my countertop, but you never know. It's just going to be my countertop. I'm not leaving any cleaners behind. So I'm not leaving any products in here that's going to cause toxicity to my home. And here's another thing. When I was cleaning for so many years, 90% of what we did as restoration cleaning companies was to remove the residue that had been left behind from other cleaning. Meaning a lot of times if you're just spraying a cleaner on, if you're not effectively removing it, you're leaving cleaners behind. The jobs of cleaners is to attract soil, which means you're working hard and you're actually causing your own soil. And that is a common thing, because everybody thinks of cleaning as a chemical that you're applying. But cleaning is about removal. That's the biggest shift. It's not application, it's removal, the effective removal. So that is the basics. It is just microfiber damp, and then microfiber dry. Now, this is what I use to clean 90% of my home. So if I'm concerned about, like I have company, I'm going to go around to like all my high contact areas in my house, high touch points, which would be like doorknobs, handles, faucets. anything that you touch, you're just look, countertops, anything you would think about your hands touching, those are high contact areas. That's where you're going to have the most germs. So what I do is I just walk around my house. And again, I try to do it in a pattern. So I usually go right to left, top to bottom. So I'm kind of working in a pattern around my house. So I know I'm catching it and I'm eyeballing what would I touch? What would I touch? So common things like, I don't know if you can see, like I have a hot pot over here. That would be a common high touch point because everybody touches it every day. I have a water filter. Again, anything you would touch, that would be a high contact point because you're touching it. Faucets, all those things. So I just walk around and clean it. You can keep your house very clean. You can have kids help you. And if you have pets and kids, if they like lick sliders or they get it on their feet, they're not going to have any chemical exposure. And you can have your kids and family help you because you don't have to worry about chemicals. So that is just a basic cleaning. That is a 2-step process. Now I'm going to show you a 3-step process. So sometimes in the kitchen, I'll be cutting up a chicken or, you know, or I just am messy and I have grease, you know how kitchens are. So then I'm going to add a different cleaner and I'm going to use dishwashing liquid. Dishwashing liquid is the best cleaner you have in the house. I mean, you think about it, when we have like an oil spill, what is the big cleaner everybody uses to clean up the birds and stuff? They use dishwashing liquid. So, you know, we have all these different products, but your dishwashing liquid is your best friend for cleaners. It's one of the best. It's a great degreaser. You can use it on everything. It's a neutral pH, meaning it's not aggressive. It's not an acid. It's not a base or a high alkaline. That's not going to be damaging. And because it's neutral, if it gets mixed with other products, it's not as likely to become a toxic gas. Like if I had vinegar and I mixed it with bleach, I could have a toxic gas. But dishwashing liquid, it's neutral. Almost every surface by every manufacturer almost always asks to be used a neutral product, a neutral cleaner. Almost every cleaner you can get from the grocery store or box store or wherever is not a neutral product. They're either acids or alkalins. So this is like your best friend. Environmentally, you already have it. You're not getting a bunch of other cleaners. You don't need a bunch of other cleaners. And it's high concentrate. So this will last you a very, very long time. So Jeanette and Amanda got these bottles for you guys. Yay. And you'll notice it doesn't have a spray bottle. It's a flip top. So a great tip on cleaning is when you have sprays, most of the time we spray cleaners in the air. Well, then you are getting yourself a lot of chemical exposure. Plus you're putting cleaners all over the place. If they accidentally cross with another cleaner, you're going to have toxic exposure. I see that in showers all the time. Somebody uses bleach on the walls. A lot of cleaners, tile and grout cleaners, have bleach in it. And then a lot of glass cleaners have ammonia in it. So you're cleaning your glass door in your shower and then you spray it in the air, you think, and then you wipe it off. You think you got it, but you didn't. You just put small particles all over the shower and then you sprayed another product and you got all these small particles. And so you now are sitting in a shower with a toxic gas. So I love that Amanda and Jeanette got flip top bottles because I don't want you to ever spray chemicals in the air again. But another benefit about these flip tops is, you know how like you get the spray bottles always breaks down. At some point you're trying to use it and it's like, and nothing, right? The flip top, it'll last you for years. You just have a flip top. And then Dallas and I, he's my husband, we were cleaning one time and it actually said on the instructions to activate it, which means flip it up. And then when you were done, they said to deactivate it. I'm like, really? You really needed to have said that? So here's the nice thing. In your kit, there is instructions on there, but you may, if you're hearing the video of this, you won't have this. So what we put is 1/2 teaspoon for 2 cups or 3 cups of hot water. So if you have like a 12-ounce, less cleaner is more. Most people try to go more cleaner, but because we're using a system of removal, you don't need to have as much product. So here's the tip. Fill up your bottle with hot water first before you put in the soap. Otherwise, you're just going to have bubbles up everywhere. So fill it up with hot water and then just add a couple drops of the dishwashing liquid in there. And then you can kind of slightly turn it. And then what you're going to do is, like on a countertop, if you're taking this somewhere, you're actually going to apply it to your towel. And I'm going to go with, when I'm using soap, I'm going to show you a little bit a different way to clean here. So I've got soapy water in the sink, and this is where I do most of that with soapy water. It's just dishwashing liquid, hot water in the sink. I just fill up my sink with dishwashing liquid and hot water, just a little bit of dishwashing liquid. So now I have a soapy towel right here. So if I'm in the kitchen, I usually just use the sink. If I'm out and about, what I'll do is I'll take this with me, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. But first I want to just show you the basics. So this is just soap and water. So one of the things we know about the virus is it is killed with soap and water because it's got a lipid, it's got an oil-based outside envelope. So soap and water will disactivate the virus. So when you have soap and water, here's you're going to do it. It's a 3-step cleaning. You go cleaning, soap and water, flat, and then rinse and dry. And if you are needing to do deep cleaning, say you have somebody in your family that is sick, or you're in the kitchen and you're wanting to clean from, say, cutting up chicken, that's the system you use. You have a soap system, a soap one, and then a rinse and a dry. So when you're doing a 2-towel system, it's just wax on, wax off. And if you do a 3-towel system, then you're going to go soap, rinse, and dry. And anytime you use soap, you definitely want to rinse it because it's all about removal. And then you always want to dry. You want to leave everything dry. So if I'm going to take this around in the house, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this little soap bottle here, and I'm just going to apply it either on my washcloth or directly on the surface and then agitate it. So super simple. You can either make it portable, but remember, anytime you use soap, you definitely want to rinse and dry it. And that one is a solid system for cleaning. What I do in my own personal house, sometimes I make it a little easier, is I do soap and water, and then I go around with my soap and towel, and I go over all my high contact areas, and then I have like a microfiber towel, and then I go ahead and dry everything. I really like sticking with at least 1 or 2 of your towels as a microfiber, because of the technology of the microfibers is they will remove 99% of the germs. Cotton alone does not do that. Sometimes cotton, if you have multiple steps like that, it's going to be pretty good, but it doesn't have the technology like the microfibers do to remove as much. It tends to push dirt, where microfibers tend to gather it up and collect it. Does that make sense? Yeah. So it's pretty simple, but that cleaning system, you can pretty much get rid of almost all of your cleaners in your house, because that will work on pretty much everything. I cleaned my house today and I did microfibers. I just did 2 microfibers. I even cleaned toilets with just 2 microfibers. I use different toilet microfibers for my toilet than I do my kitchen, but honestly, it's that easy, because like porcelain is one of the easiest surfaces to clean. It's porcelain because it's not porous at all. And then when you start simplifying, at first it's a little weird to go to a technology, but the thing about cleaning is it's a 4-part, the science of it is when you're cleaning, you want to maximize the temperature. Heat, a lot of times will make your cleaning better. Agitation, friction cleaning is actually what we're doing with microfibers. We're focusing on, in the hand washing, we're focusing on the agitation. And instead of using a super aggressive cleaner, we're using hot water. That is our cleaner, or soap. And then how long we clean for is like when you're washing your hands, 20 seconds. That's when you're doing it. So instead of focusing everything on our super aggressive cleaners, we're actually focusing on the science of cleaning, which is agitating with the technology of microfibers and using it in flat and a good system. So I know that's kind of a technical thing, but this system, it will work. My husband and I, we did restoration cleaning. We were cleaning showers that were completely demolished. We were cleaning 100-year-old fireplaces and stuff. And we were literally using as restorative cleaners, safer products than 90% of our customers were using for daily maintenance. And with daily maintenance, the more consistent you are, the lighter the clean you do, the more consistent you are in the cleaning, the less you'll ever even have to go to those aggressive products ever again. You can stay with the mild cleanings by never going to those aggressive, by just daily maintenance, by light, simple, consistent cleaning. A couple other products that you may use from time to time is Jeanette has like the vinegar. So vinegar, and in the green cleaning kit, you have some recipes. I like these recipes because they all work with these products, which is dishwashing liquid, vinegar, and baking soda. So this is kind of your basic little cleaning, green cleaning kit is these three things. So vinegar, sometimes like you'll have a mineral stain, which you'll see in toilets. Sometimes you'll get that mineral ring. That's a mineral. Acids are best against something like that, and it's a really good rinsing agent. Baking soda, if you'll notice, it's a little bit abrasive. That's what you can use if you need a little bit of a pumicing or an abrasive type cleaner for like your glass cooktop. That's where I would put the baking soda, and then sometimes vinegar if you have residue to rinse it. You'll see that there's some great recipes in here for doing your drain cleaning. Again, you're using baking soda and vinegar to that, and the combination of that I use. Oh yeah, thank you for reminding me. I just had, Amanda just gave me the toilet thing.
I love those snakes because I have a first grader and everything goes down the drain. So those have been a lifesaver.
Right, okay, so in your kit is a snake. I don't know if y'all can see that. It's got little burbs on it for in case something goes down the drain that shouldn't, hair, drains. So this is more if you have like a slow drain and you have a clunk. This is more for maintenance of keeping your drains running really well. Anytime, sorry, I'm getting all choked up here. Anytime you're combining, putting baking soda down your drains, always, holy cow, always finish it with a lot of hot water. Excuse me, I'm gonna have to pause and breathe. Okay, so you want to finish it with, if you put baking soda down your drains, you want to finish it with hot water, because sometimes baking soda, if it doesn't have enough water, it'll clunk and you'll get you'll actually make stuff a problem. You'll have a glunk of baking soda in your drains and it might cause more of a problem. So you really want to make sure you're rinsing everything in your drains. Okay. So what else was in the kit? We had the baking soda, we had the microfibers, the vinegar, the baking soda, and the dishwashing liquid and the drain, and then the 2 bottles. Another thing I would highly recommend everybody get for your cleaning is a toothbrush. I know, super, super high tech. I have one in my kitchen and I have one obviously different colors, but it's a great way to use recycled products. So when your toothbrushes are dead, then go ahead and use them. But or like around your toilet, there's always like little places to get it. Your toothbrush is one of your very best things you can use. So this is not high tech. So let's see how many different products we have so far. We have a cotton towel for just general cleaning of your kitchen. You could either use a cotton towel or a microfiber, using it with soap and water. You have a microfiber, general purpose microfiber for cleaning or rinsing. And then you have a polishing towel for just polishing. The general purpose and the polishing towel, fantastic for windows, for mirrors, for all the fronts of your appliances, for countertops, for anything that's smooth, for high contact areas, for toilets. I mean, honestly, you can just pretty much clean your whole house like this. So that's 2 microfibers. What else do we have? We have baking soda, dishwashing liquid, vinegar, a toothbrush, bottles, and that. Can you believe that? We can do our whole house with that. How many people have more products than that in their house? Exactly. So if I have kind of a challenge. We're doing the decluttering group. We're having the book club right now, decluttering. So this is my challenge for you in the next week, is to declutter your chemicals. Because what happens is they get under sinks, they get in the garage, they get in the laundry, and they fall over. Sometimes they can off gas, they get old, and And so we don't realize how much off-gassing we can get in a house from all these chemicals. So I recommend going through them if they're old, if they're damaged, if you look on the back of them and it says danger or poison, or don't use with, make sure you're using high ventilation, or this is an extreme, or this is dangerous, or this does this. Look for keywords like, holy gosh, I don't want that in my house, like needs to be used in high ventilation. Those are keywords. So you want to minimize that. And I believe you have in your kit, you also have the green recycling guard, which tells where we can take it to hazardous waste. Is the hazardous waste in here? Yes? Okay.
Yeah, there's all kinds of great resources in there. And then
so this is like what to do with everything.
Yeah.
You don't want to ever, if you go through your chemicals and you take them to hazardous waste, you don't want to put them in the trash. You do not want to put them down your sink. You definitely want to box them up. And when you have chemicals, make sure you're boxing up your chemicals that they won't fall over in transport. So they're very well secured. And then you just take them like down in the Auburn Super Mall. You just drive up and you just pull in and they may ask your zip code and then you pop your truck and you can even keep your container and they'll take the hazardous waste. So you don't have to have it, but then it's safely out of your house and it's safely into the hands. And that kind of tells you a lot about what you're working with. Most of your chemicals in your house will have to go to hazardous waste. And that's why you don't want to have them. For one, you don't need to have them. Like, the high-end surfaces want you to use the mildest possible means that you can in your house to do all your cleaning, because it's going to damage your surfaces. It's going to damage you. It's going to waste money. It's just a waste of time. So when I think about cleaning, I think of cleaning and taking care of house in 3 ways. I think of how can I prevent work? How can I minimize it so you don't have to spend much time working? And 2, when I'm cleaning, what is the mildest possible ways? Well, that was what I was showing you. That is the mildest possible ways to take care of your house. And 3, how do I leave nothing behind? So when I think about prevention, I'm going to give you a couple tips on how to prevent so much work in your house. Because as much as I like to clean, and it's not that I'm like Mary Poppins and I like to clean, it's just that I know what it does for me mentally to have my house feel good. That is really why I clean. It calms my nervous system when things are in place. It just feels good. So a couple things to keep it so you don't have to work so much is if you can get a good entrance rug or take off your shoes, that's going to prevent 76% of dirt coming in your front door. And that's what's going to cause damage to all your flooring. It's going to get dust in the air and you're going to have to go dust your house and remove it. So just taking off your shoes and having good entrance rugs is going to save you massive amount of time and energy. 2, if you don't want to ever have soap scum again in your life or hard water deposits in your sink, in your shower, after you're done cleaning, do a quick rinse and then dry out your shower. And this is really, it seems like a lot of work, but honestly, it takes about a minute to do a quick rinse and a dry. And by doing the quick rinse and dry, you never have to have soap scum again in your shower. So that means you don't even need any of those aggressive products to damage it or to remove the soap scum. The same thing is on your sinks. Have a little towel. So after you're done brushing your teeth and washing your face, I usually use a microfiber and I dry out my sinks so they're always dry. So every time I wash my face, I'm basically cleaning my sink. So on cleaning day, I practically don't have anything to do because I don't have any showers to clean and I don't have any sinks to do. So it's just that consistent cleaning. And it's just light. It's a light little thing. As far as like COVID and health goes, what happens if you use a microfiber and clean and dry every time you brush your teeth or wash your hands, then the next person comes in, you have basically removed 99% of what's on there, germs and much and dirt and hard water deposits every time you dry it out. And so you never have the hard water deposits and you never have to have, you don't have to worry so much about the viruses because you're consistently removing, you're not having a buildup of germs. It's not sitting there, it's always being removed. Let's see. Oh, if you want to remove a lot of time in your house, unclutter it. So uncluttering the floors and uncluttering the countertops, by uncluttering how many things you have to move, you're going to reduce the amount of time in cleaning by at least 40%, if not more. Because you think about in cleaning, what usually takes up the most time is putting things back where they belong. You're like kind of rebooting and finding new homes for everything. If you consistently kind of put things back and minimize how much clutter you have, you're not going to have near as much time taking care of a house. If you have respiratory concerns, by having too many like knickknacks and stuff, makes you not want to dust. It's too much work when you have too many things to dust, and so you don't tend to, but then you end up having more dust and then you're not as healthy. A quick tip is first thing in the morning, just do 15 minutes of a light pickup just to kind of reboot the house, just put things back to go. When you just do a tiny bit every day, maybe morning and night, 5 minutes and 5 minutes, you find out that you never have a buildup. So it's that light, little consistent. So all of my work in cleaning is light and consistent. Very small, tiny little steps consistently done, but I rarely will have a big project because I don't have to spend 2 hours to unsoap scum my shower. I might have a touch up, but it's like less. So it's when you do less, you can use such mild products in your house. You don't ever have to go to the big guns, which means you guys don't have to have the extra products in your house and you don't have the health concerns. I think that's pretty much a lot of it. So I want to open up for questions. So we have questions pop in. I have some other thoughts along the way, but if you guys have any cleaning questions, bring them on. I know there's a lot of different things that happens in a house. So if you do have any questions, I'm happy to be here for you.
So Denise, I have 7 questions that came in the chat. So
there's more coming too. I'm seeing a few more, I think, but go
well,
ahead. We'll see what we can answer.
I want to ask you guys, cleaning is really a thing, you know, and it's really a habit. It's a skill, but it can be super easy. If you guys are interested in more like specific education, I mean, I'm putting a lot in this meeting, but to change it so we change your habits, if you're interested in like a home cleaning class where we're actually doing like maybe 6 weeks of learning how to do it and turning it into a practice, let me know. If you want to do a house cleaning book club or something,
so
let me know what will help.
I did create a poll, just like we were talking about before. You want to do that now, Denise? And we can kind of field some questions right after that. Would that be good?
Let's do some questions and then we'll do the poll.
Okay, sounds good. I'll
Cool.
let Jeanette.
okay, Denise, is dishwashing liquid safe to use for washing cars?
Yes. It absolutely is. One thing you might be aware of is the extra soap we don't necessarily want to have into Puget Sound because it's got a lot of the bubbles and the surfactants. So if you're washing cars, you might want to make sure you're washing it on grass where it's not going to run into the streets and down into the water systems. But as far as the pH of it, absolutely.
Okay. How would you clean stainless steel?
Stainless steel, very good question. I would do microfibers all day long. 2 microfibers, damp and dry.
And could you clarify one more time the 2-step microfiber versus the 3-step microfiber for everyone?
If I have stainless steel and I feel like I have a lot of grease on it, I'll do the 3-step microfiber, or maybe I'll just do soap and water and then dry with the microfiber. But I always dry it. If you're doing stainless steel, go with the grains. Those grains are actually micro scratches, so you want to go with the grains on stainless steel. But don't put the polishes and stuff on the stainless steel, because then you're going to be chasing that cleaner all the time, that polish, and it builds up a residue. So less is more. And then what you could do is just have a microfiber, a damp microfiber and a dry one. You can just buff it off. You're going to love the 2 microfibers. Start with just the 2 microfibers.
I have a question for you real quick. How many microfibers do you have, Denise?
How many microfibers do I have?
Yes.
Well, you know, actually it's interesting. I have quite a few because I was selling a type of microfiber, so I have quite a few. But honestly, I usually have a microfiber at every sink so I can dry. So I have 3 bathrooms, so I have 3 microfibers. I have a towel in the shower, so that's 4. And then for my weekly cleanings, I have my toilet bathroom one, which I just have in a different color. And then I have my other one, and that's pretty much it. not to count like kitchen towels and stuff like that. But yeah, I really don't use that many even. You don't have to, and I have my floor microfiber, which the floors you can do the exact same way. I usually have two of these. I get one wet and then I have a dry one, and I just kind of pop it on and off as I'm cleaning. And again, it's like clean damp and then dry, clean damp and then dry. That's how I do everything. It's really very boring.
Pretty exciting to all of us. I'm sorry, I saw that as a question, kind of going over. I'll let Jeanette take it back though.
So lots of questions on microfiber. So I'm going to shoot a bunch at you. How do you track which microfiber you use for what? So toilets, windows, countertops. How often do you wash your microfibers? How do you care for them?
Oh, good
How do you
question.
launder them? How often do they need to be replaced?
Okay, these are all really great questions. So how do I tell which color? So when I'm doing bathrooms, my bathrooms are pink. So I have a specific color for my toilets. So that way I don't accidentally use them in my kitchen. That's how I do it. And that's usually how most commercial buildings do it. They'll do their cleaners by color, their microfibers by color. As far as how to care for it, thank you so much for asking that, because I totally forgot to say how to take care of them. So microfibers in general, no matter who you're getting them from, you do not want to use bleach on them. You do not want to use fabric softeners, and you don't want to use dryer sheets. And the reason you don't use fabric softeners or dryer sheets is because it puts a coating on your clothes. And the whole thing about microfibers is there's no residue. This is a complete residue-free way. So if you put dryer sheets or fabric softeners on, you're actually going to put a coating on this, and it's not going to work very well. It's going to coat it. And bleaches breaks down the fibers. And that would happen whether you're doing cotton towels or anything, but you don't want to damage them, because this is really an investment. These microfibers, I mean, you'll have different microfibers in your house. Some of them are like more for floors or really yucky jobs. But when you have some high quality ones, keep them well taken care of, because these guys are going to be workhorses. And this is why I like it environmentally. I'm not using paper towels. I'm not using disposal. I'm not using throwaway things. I'm using something that will last for at least 2 or 3 years. And like, there's some microfibers that you can recycle. Not all of them are set up with the companies that sell them, but they will last for a long time. So you really want to think of these as an investment in your house, and not just something you get and then don't take care of.
So hypothetical, Denise,
Yeah,
if you didn't say do those things, like you did use fabric softener.
Oh yeah, so that's a really good point. So in your e-cloth, it actually says if for some reason, if fabric softener or dryer sheets are used by accident, rewash with a little detergent on the highest temperature setting. So if you do, go ahead and rewash it. Usually with microfibers, just so you know, they absorb a lot of water depending on the quality of the microfiber. So sometimes when you wash, make sure you have enough water in your washing machine that they're not going to absorb it all. Also, make sure your laundry detergent does not have a lot of fillers. You want a very like clean and simple, clean, free and clear type laundry detergent. I usually do dry mine because they are very dense. The ones I use are very dense. And in the Northwest, we're a little damp. So I do like to make sure I get my microfibers good and dry and rinsed. In between, like if I'm cleaning, I can go ahead and rinse this out between. So I usually wash them once a week. If I'm just touching things up in the house, I'll just keep rinsing them out and hanging them up and then using them throughout the week.
Did you cover the top brands, the quality brands?
So, a lot of different types of microfibers. I'm going to kind of go over 3 main different ones. The e-claws are one you can get readily accessible at on Amazon. Very good quality. They're well thought of. They have different ones. I definitely recommend always getting a polishing one and general purpose. Rubbermaid commercial. I used to sell the Rubbermaid commercial. That's more like that's what you'll see like the hospitals using. That's what you'll see the airports using. You can get those online too. That's an excellent one. And then the one I use is Norwex. What I like about a high quality microfiber is I want something that has, like, to be considered a microfiber, the little tiny filaments in here need to be 1/6 the size of a human hair, because it's actually creating a lot of surface tension because it's so small. So just to be considered a microfiber, it needs to be 1/6 the size of a human hair. A high quality microfiber, like the ones I use, are 1/200th the size of a human hair, because it gives you so much surface place. They're also very, very durable. You can't see through them. You want to make sure that it's not, you also want to make sure their construction is really good, because you don't want any of these fibers breaking loose and getting into our water system. So you don't want a real cheap microfiber that when you wash it might end up in our laundry system. You want it that's going to hold together for a long time. So you kind of get what you pay for, but don't get a lot of them. Get a couple key things and use them really well. So it's not like, let's get 500 microfibers. It's more, let's get a couple really good microfibers and learn how to use them really well.
I saw another question real quick. I know, Jeanette, you're doing that, but I felt like I could maybe spin on it as because I kept saying "but kids" as you're talking, but kids. And someone asked about cleaning up cat pee and cat pee, human pee.
Good call on the cat pee. So a quick call on cat pee: never ever use bleach in a cat in your litter box to clean it out, because of the ammonia from the animals, and bleach can cause a toxic gas, which is something you don't really think about. So cat pee, like on the floors or in the cat box? Are you?
I think it was on the floor. Yeah.
Okay.
And I was just talking to, potty training coming up, thinking that was going to be a part of my life very soon. So
if you have a big stain, you might put baking soda on it and use it as a poultice. Kind of bring it up, and sometimes what you can do, if you have a diaper and you have somebody's spilled something, you can put the diaper on and then put like a baking sheet or something and let it absorb into it. So if you have dogs or something, baking soda is a really good to put on there, and then just vacuum it up. And then a good rinsing agent when you have a stain would be vinegar. So this solution that we're using for dishwashing, or for vinegar, you can use for spotting carpets, like when somebody's made an accident. Keep in mind, when they have an accident, if on the top of your carpet it looks like a little itty bitty spot, most likely in the pad it's about this big. So even though it looks small on the back it's big. Don't ever put soap on your carpet without rinsing it, because it'll attract soil, and then your spot that was this big will keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So there's always got to be a rinsing behind it. Always, if you put soap on it, always rinse.
Okay, so I got a couple questions on hardwood floors. A couple people are asking how to clean those, and one person said they didn't get good results when using dishwashing liquid. They felt it was tacky. How would you clean hardwood?
Great question. So dishwashing liquid on floors is not my recommended way. So thank you so much for bringing up that question. So dishwashing liquid, and any cleaner that has a lot of bubbles, has a lot of surfactants. It's meant to be rinsed really well with water. Otherwise, it's going to attract soil. So if you use dishwashing liquid on your floors, you're going to make sure you have a rinsing step in there and a drying step, or you will build up a residue. So it's not my cleaner of choice for floors. For hardwood floors, I would absolutely get a good microfiber for the floors. Matter of fact, the tools I would recommend for good floors are great entrance rugs outside. Think of them as a filter coming into your home. That's going to save your hardwood floors. The other thing is a really great vacuum. Make sure your vacuum has a hardwood floor setting, so it doesn't have a beater bar. It has a soft edge on it, so you can vacuum up. And then I would use a good microfiber. I would absolutely use a 2-towel system for a microfiber for the floors. So what I like about, if you get a good one, like this is 20 inches, it'll save you a lot of time. You don't want to get those little disposals that are like 8 inches, because you're going to be, for one, throwing things away a lot, but then also you're wasting your time. So, and I don't have 2 of these, but what I do is I really get one of these wet, and then I have one dry, and I work in the small areas. And if I'm doing hardwood floors, I want to go with the grain. I don't want to go across the grain, but I'm only going to be cleaning damp about 10 square feet at a time. And then I'm going to just put my feet on both sides, pop that off and do a dry one, and then pop that on and dry behind it. So I'm doing this 2 towel system, so you never have a buildup. There's a couple cleaners that you can use for hardwood floors. I think Bona is one that's recommended from the hardwood floor industry. Again, if you can stay with the microfibers, you're not going to have the buildup, because honestly, 99% of what we removed as cleaners was the residues left behind on all the surfaces from things not being rinsed, because everybody's thinking about applying chemicals, more product, more cleaners, better. That's not true. It's all about the removal. That is cleaning, is removing.
Great. So
A lot of people use vinegar on hardwood floors. Vinegar is not actually a good recommendation from the hardwood floor industry, because it's an acid, and what it does is over time can damage the finish of your hardwood floors.
how about laminate and tile?
Laminate and tile are super easy, same thing. I'd use microfibers whenever possible. If you can stick with microfibers. Now, if you've got some cleaner buildup a little bit, it's kind of a different process to get the residue off first. But once you get down to it, and that can be like a separate question. I don't know if I can cover that today, because that's kind of adds another step where you kind of need the same thing on the floor. You have like an agitation, break the surface tension, then rinse and dry. So it's a little bit more of a longer process. But once you get it back down, I totally recommend going to 90% microfiber cleaning. That the science is so high, leaving things residue free, you're going to minimize the chemical exposure for your family. You're going to minimize the amount of time you spend cleaning. We spend way too much time cleaning. We don't need to.
All right, so let's talk about windows. You said no spray bottles.
Yes.
So
same thing. I don't even own window cleaner. I haven't owned window cleaner. I don't even, I have access to every cleaner in the world. I have less cleaner than anybody I know, because I just use microfiber. So again, with windows, I'm going to have an all-purpose and a really good polishing cloth, and I'm going to do my windows with 2 microfibers. Now, if I'm going to be using a cleaner, again, what I'll probably do is put that on one of the towels. I will apply it, or I might do like a bucket of water and then put it in there, and then I have my damp one. First, what I'll do is dry it. If it's outside, sometimes you get the dust on it, dust it off first, and then go ahead and use the cleaner on there, and then dry it. You could use a squeegee system on it, but don't ever use like an aerosol window cleaner. Please don't ever use that, because you get all these particles and you're breathing them. You don't have to go to that technology anymore. We have technology that is so much more advanced than spraying cleaners in the air now.
So just use the flip top bottle that comes in the kit, pour it on the cloth.
You can, if you want to, but usually you can just do it with the microfibers. But if you're going to use like vinegar, then think about it, putting it on a towel, getting it wet, or even having like a bucket and putting vinegar in it, and then using that towel. And then make sure you're always cleaning with a clean towel.
Okay, so question about, is it safe to pour baking soda and vinegar down drains?
Yes, it absolutely is. One thing you do is you do want to finish up with maybe boiling water, hot water, to make sure you're getting all the baking soda completely emulsified and down, or broken down and into the drains. It's
Great.
also really great cleaning to combine those two to clean like your stainless steel sinks and stuff.
So I've got 4 kind of random questions.
Oh, good. I love random questions.
Do you have any tips for getting caked on grease out of gas burners on stoves?
Caked on grease out of I would probably just use dishwashing liquid, depending on what it is, and then maybe a toothbrush to get it in there. But dishwashing liquid is such a great little degreaser. So as long as you're safe to use that, I would use probably a little bit stronger concentration than 1/4 teaspoon per half cup. I would just use maybe just a little bit stronger, agitate it, and then make sure you rinse it and dry it, remove it, and then dry it. But that'll probably work. Dishwashing liquid is the best degreaser there is.
Any suggestions on getting stains out of a plastic chopping board?
Mm. You know, probably the most environmentally friendly one would be using hydrogen peroxide and putting it in the sunshine outside. Matter of fact, that's a really great way to do a mattress too. Vacuum your mattress really good, and then you can take your mattress outside, not now, but in the summertime. You can take your mattress outside, put hydrogen peroxide on it, and get a baseball bat, beat it up, and then just sit it in the sunshine. It will clean it. It'll take all the yellowing out. It refreshes it, and the beating it with the baseball bat is kind of an energy clearer, so it kind of shifts all the schmutz of the bad dreams you had.
Great. And then bath mats that get a little moldy on the bottom. Bleach works, but we know it's toxic.
So if they can been put in the washing machine, putting them in your washing machine and drying them really good. That's probably your best bet. If they're not, see if you can clean it by hand on the back. And see if they start breaking down, watch those bath mats that start breaking down, especially if they're on laminate, because they can start discoloring your laminate. So keep an eye on your bath mats if they start breaking down.
And the last question I have on cleaning so far is, do you know how to clean the H2O sponges?
I haven't worked with H2O, but I would add that to my list because I know they have good quality things. I didn't add them in some of the options, but the H2Os. So if it's anything like what I know from Norwex is you might just boil them. Just get a maybe 10 minutes of boiling, see how that works.
All right. Does anybody have any other cleaning questions for Denise? It is 7:05.
I did get a direct question about what size you might have a preference for and what type of doormat. I kind of feel like there should be a Denise approved list of like products.
Site that I go to for it's called American Flooring, and they have a lot of great entrance rugs. Here's the rule of thumb: the bigger the entrance rug, the better. So, but you don't want to have water tracked in. So if you have an overhang like at a front porch, go ahead and get as big an entrance rug as you can, because the more steps to walk in, the more it's going to stay outside. If you have a short little overhang, you can't have as big of one. Definitely get a commercial grade. So as a general rule, I try to have my bath mats, or my entrance rugs 3 to 5, but it just depends on how much room I have.
Oh, and I think the size question was more for the, I think that was actually for the microfibers. What size microfibers?
Oh, what size microfibers? So this is the polishing cloth size I have. This is the polishing cloth of the E-cloth. It's a little softer. It's a little bit
yeah, I think that's the one.
Thinner, I guess would say, but that's the size of them. I like ones that are like, and this is my all-purpose here. So it's about like a foot by a foot. It's kind of a personal thing. My kitchen towels are bigger, for drying. So that's my kitchen towel size. My washcloths are a little bit smaller. So it's kind of like what feels good, but I'd go to quality.
Denise, can you take 2 more questions?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Tell us about your big mop, your floor mop. Where can people get that? What brand is it?
So this one specifically is a Norwex. I actually sell it. I'm not promoting that here, but I sell this. There's other people that sell Norwex, and that is their mop system. I would highly recommend getting a high quality. Don't get a mop system that's flimsy. You want a pole that is very solid. You want, if you're buying tools, I want you to get higher quality tools. So like if you're getting a vacuum, don't think of tools like this as a disposable. So whether you get them from H2O or E-cloth or from Norwex or Rubbermaid commercial line, get tools. They might be a little bit more expensive up front, but you want it to last like years and years. You don't want to end up in the landfill because it's not really worth anything. So
I'm a big fan of the Bona product.
So the Bona, I like their cleaner, but the tool itself is not near as durable as something.
Oh,
so if it's like $20, you're not really going to get a durable tool.
Okay, last question.
Be able to put a little pressure on it when I'm cleaning, and if it's like super flimsy, it's just not the same.
Last question that I got in was cleaning ovens. So this is actually when I have two that my glass is always dirty. How do I clean it?
Oh, so this is really interesting, and I don't have the research on this, but sometimes the in between the windows, there's a way to clean inside the oven, and it's actually inside there. So sometimes in your oven, the glass gets dirty in between, and it's the consistency. Like a lot of the new ovens will have like a steam bed underneath it. So use that steam over like the self-cleaning oven for sure, because the self-cleaning is not really good for indoor air quality, but keep it wiped down as much as possible. And then it's like the baking soda and like you could use baking soda and dishwashing liquid and then a non-scratch pad to agitate that to get the glass on there, and then rinse and dry. But you definitely want to do like non-scratch pads, but that'd be using that what we already have.
Awesome.
Wonderful.
Have a poll.
Yeah, we have a poll. This is another, I've never done this before. We'll see. I just threw some of the things that we talked about.
While Amanda's getting the poll, oh, she's already ready.
Oh, okay. There we go. That was easy. Sorry.
So y'all can fill out the poll of what you're interested in. Honestly, it's putting a little bit of time and energy and learning how to clean and how to use the really good products. It will pay dividends your whole life, because we are going to be cleaning until we cannot clean. That's just how life is. So learn these skills and make it easier on yourself. This is not something you should torture yourself. And make fun with it, make friends with it. I like to play music when I clean. I open up the windows, I think of it as a way I nourish myself. And I minimize as much as I can, because I don't want to feel like giant projects every week. So little tiny practices of wiping down your sinks and just picking up as you go. So you don't have a weekly big thing. It's more like tiny little things just consistently.
So I did just phrase this question: what would be the best support to make your green cleaning goals happen? And if somebody else has something they'd like to suggest, feel free to put it in the chat, or yeah, you can, I guess I could pause the recording so we could have people unmute. Would that be something you want to do now?
Yeah.
I have another question that came up, Denise.
Yeah.
On cleaning crayons and pens off of walls while people are doing the polls.
Crayons and pens, I would start with the microfiber and see if that works. Sometimes rubbing alcohol, if it's a pen, you want to be careful. You want to dab it, like get a Q-tip and dab it, because sometimes it will bleed on a pen. So be careful with that, but sometimes the rubbing alcohol will take care of that. Crayon, a lot of times dishwashing liquid, and then just a little bit of, especially if it's on a tile, you may need something like baking soda if you need a little bit of abrasive, but it's a lot of times just elbow grease a little bit, to break that surface tension. Except for the pen, you probably will need something like a rubbing alcohol.
Yeah, I think the question came up about magic erasers, and I
haven't worked with a lot of magic erasers just because I don't have I don't have extra stuff in my house. But that would probably work really well, and it would probably work on your glass cooktops. So glass cooktops, same kind of thing. Baking soda, dishwashing liquid, but it's mainly like keep your pans clean, try to keep it from boiling over, and then life happens, so.
From what I understand though, I think those are more plastic based. So it's about surface area with them as well. And it's amazing what they're capable of. I am totally guilty of having them as, children. Right. But the, yeah, I think they do produce microplastics and can, do that. So if you can trap those, but, minimize the use of that kind of thing too, not washing them down the drain is definitely a big thing.
That's one of those disposals. So I try to make it, and don't throw your microfibers away. I mean, they can be at least recycled into like Goodwill has fabrics. If the company like Norwex has a whole recycling program, I don't know if others do, but don't throw them away. Use them out as long as you possibly can. Take very good care of them. Think of it as an investment. Did you already submit the question yet?
So it looks like everybody might have gotten, sorry.
Is everybody seeing it?
Yeah, hopefully. I'm just gonna pause the recording so that we can let anybody unmute that would like to talk. Yeah.
It looks like mostly having connection to companies that sell green cleaning supplies.
Yeah.
It
Well,
seems-
I think we can say we hit the nail on the head with this class because we're gonna give away the green cleaning supplies and we just did a presentation. So
exactly. So you guys all have access to the whole green cleaning supply. The only thing you need to supply extra will be your toothbrush. That's not
and I
too-
might have extra ones at the tool library because we gave them away as tools because we were talking about how to like reimagine what a tool is. And so I'm just kidding, but you know, I think everybody probably has a toothbrush or two they could spare. So I'm
and then the other one would be like a floor system.
Mm.
And then the vacuum, but honestly, the best thing about green cleaning, when you do cleaning for health and residue-free cleaning, you really don't have a lot. It's a very small, it's very simple. It's not going to take up a lot of space in your house. It's not toxic. And what I love about most products is I can use these things for a million things. I can bake cookies with this. I can put this in my refrigerator to get rid of germs. I can put it down my drain. I can use as a poultice or something as a scouring thing for my glass cooktop.
I use it as an exfoliant in the shower.
Exactly.
It's essentially a salt. It's really great for heartburn when you're pregnant too. Just throwing that out.
This is what I love. When I think about simplicity, when I have products, I want to have products that I can use 50 different ways. So I only want to have key products, but I want to be able to use them so many different ways. I don't want to have 50 products to be trying to figure out what to use. The secret about it is reducing the amount of things you have and upping their value.
Yeah, and if somebody just mentioned that baking soda also kills moths. You have in this kit everything to kill your external nuisances too. So you can use vinegar and baking soda to take care of weeds. And I mean, we really did talk about giving baking soda away because we're like, it's not expensive, but of course, you can always use another another box of baking soda.
How handy it is. It's got a pH. I think baking soda is just slightly alkaline. And then this is a pH of 3. So this is a pH of 7. This is about 7 or 8. And then this is a pH of 3. So this is your acid. This is an alkaline abrasive. And this is your neutral.
Oh, and the labels, because Jeanette worked very hard on this. So we had a lot of discussion about these. These labels are waterproof. So I'm really excited about that. You guys.
Awesome.
We tried to really be thoughtful and not, because this is what we do at the tool library too, is thinking about conscious consumerism, thinking about how you're going to be utilizing things and making those decisions. It's a marketed world out there. So they want, you want to enjoy the things, but really what is going to be the most effective. So
I'm going to share the picture one more time and the pickup instructions. So, and it does come in a little tote bag that you can fold up and put in your purse, a shopping bag.
It's a nice shopping bag. It's lovely.
So you can pick these up at the South King Tool Library. Just come to their open hours, Monday 11 to 1, Wednesday 4 to 6, and Saturday 11 to 1. Amanda has all the kits there. We have some made and we're going to be building more. Well, she's going to be doing it. Thank you, Amanda. But just come during their open hours and come pick up your green cleaning kit. So.
And if you need that information emailed to you, please just give us, put your email either in a message to Jeanette or myself or in the chat there. Oh, and yes, Denise is showing you these great.
It's nice. I love that you guys didn't put a ton in, so you guys don't have like a ton to process. We really were very thoughtful in this kit. Everything in here has very specific reasons that can be used. So this is your whole recycling kit guide. So, this is a huge resource. And then your recipes are all based off of these products. And then a reminder of how to reduce. So you're always reducing, reusing, recycling. And this is all about reducing, not adding waste and not adding more hazards to our home, our bodies, our environment, or not taking care of your surfaces where they end up in the landfill because you have to remodel before you need to, which is actually a huge environmental thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, well, thank you everybody for coming.
Yeah.
We're planning more classes. We're working on a spring gardening series and a summer food preservation series. And then the tool library is going to have home improvement classes. So we're going to have lots more. I'll send out a link after this to everyone with so you can sign up for our e-newsletters so you can stay connected. But again, thank you everyone for coming. Come grab your green cleaning kit. I guess
And see me
Saturday
probably.
next week. They
Right.
are open on the holiday.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you
Thank you.
Bye. Have
guys.
a good night.
Thank you.
Happy cleaning.
Thank
Yes,
you.
happy cleaning.
Yes, happy cleaning. And remember all the R's.
Happy cleaning and clean happy.
Definitely. Awesome. All right, guys, we're gonna stop recording. This is always awkward. All right. Yes.